Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to our podcast, Going Vocal. Today, we will be discussing the topic as to whether higher education is really adding value to the individual as well as to society. Now, education beyond the degree level, that is the master's and PhD, many people in today's world are really confused as to whether it adds the kind of significant value both to the individual in terms of remuneration as well as to society as it used to before, like in the 1970s or in the 60s. So on the panel today, we have Suresh, we have Hemant and Shaji. Many of you are already introduced to Suresh and Hemant. And today you're introduced to a new panel member, Shaji, who will be hopefully joining us many times after this podcast as well. So yes, we'll start off with Hemant. Hemant, what are your thoughts on the higher education system, that is your master's and your PhDs? What do you think its condition is at present vis-a-vis the past? In terms of branding value, all right, when I say in terms of branding value, the way that people perceive it, as well as the way that the real value addition also it gives to society.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Rahul, and it's a real pleasure once again to be a part of this particular podcast. A very interesting subject too. I think the value of post-graduation and the PhD has lost its flavor compared to what it was probably maybe 20 or 30 years ago. I still remember many of my father's uncles. They were all PhDs. Many of them are actually they have taken PhDs related to chemistry-based subjects and physics-based subjects, and in fact, they were all heading the big companies in pharmaceutical companies, electronics companies. So, in fact, at that time, the PhD taken had value. They were able to get a job and they were able to scale up as far as their profession was concerned. But in today's world, I find that there is a mushrooming of, there are a lot of PhDs. Initially, there were a lot of engineers. Now we have a lot of MBAs, a lot of MTechs, a lot of MAs, a lot of PhDs. So somehow I find that this is not probably what I feel is the quality of the PhDs or the maybe because of the too much of educational issues coming up. Maybe the quality of education important is not like what it was before. When I said my father's uncle, it was almost 3 generations ago. So probably till 2 generations ago, or maybe till my generation, you had colleges, limited colleges. So the colleges, in order to get admission, the admission procedure was also very strict. For instance, let us take MBA. For instance, MBA in our generation, the number of institutions were very less. So probably if you have to get yourself enrolled in an MBA, you will have to go through CAT. So you had the IIM, of course, on the first one. Then after that, you had the Symbiosis, the Jain Institute of Management, XLRI. And then, of course, the Bajaj Institute of Management in Mumbai. And then after that, you had the other institutes. So the quality of MBAs coming out was much better. And of course, there were a lot of opportunities. But now it is not like that. You can pay money. Immediately after plus 2, you can pay if you are rich, or you now, of course, you get loan also very easily. You can easily enroll your kid in any post-graduation course or graduation course. Similarly, the PhD also, I think if you have to get a PhD now, there is an entrance exam, but the quality of PhD that has come out, maybe even the quality may be good, but there are too much of PhDs. So, if you ask me, the postgraduates and the PhDs who are coming today, they are not able to match to the expectations of their employers, be it the educational institutes or the companies. So there is something lacking. I think probably it might be to do with the practical orientation, maybe too much of theory, but not matching to the job. that practical orientation. Because at the end of the day, education is actually application of the theoretical knowledge practically. Whatever you study, if you are studying engineering, then if you are doing MTech, when you get into a job, whatever you have studied till MTech, that you have to use it productively and efficiently, practically, to help the company or your whatever your business or whatever it is. So that practical application, the knowledge that you are getting from education, the inability to use that practically is not is what is lacking today in today's education. This is my
So
take.
largely real problem solving skills in the real world, rather, right? I think you
True.
what you're referring to is a lot of abstraction being involved, and you have a large section of the masses being involved in abstract thinking only, but never being able to use that abstract thinking into real life and real world solving practical problems in the world of maybe commerce or any other science or any other field of that people practically work on. For instance,
True.
generally, solving a rocket issue or something like that, isn't it? So yes, that's very true. That's
Correct.
very true. It's very interesting as well. I'd like to ask Shaji what he thinks in terms of not just the problem solving aspects of what the modern higher education system is incapable of resolving, but what about other issues such as being conditioned by into a form of thought? What is your opinion in terms of, do you feel that modern higher education simply reinforces and conditions a thought and thereby avoids these problem solving skills that Hemant is talking about? So Hemant, whenever we're discussing problem solving skills, innovative mindsets, breaking the barriers, that kind of a thinking is required. But modern education is now politically establishing a cycle of thinking and making sure that people are not able to break a pattern of thought that is needed. I just that is needed to be broken in order to solve problems as they arise, because every time we do face new problems evolve like human society evolves. Shaji, I would like to hear your thoughts on whether you think people are being conditioned into a kind of thinking by higher education.
Thank you, Rahul. Hemant sir. What Hemant sir said is one point of that large subject. But I think what Hemant sir said is correct. But we have to go forward, because our education, we have to change the nature of our education, and then only the human society will survive. I think in India, we are following the educational system that uh, introduced by the British people, because British people introduced education in India for framing uh, government staffs, officers, and for people to assist them to run the government at that time. Because India was a large country at that time, and they were not available. They could not manage these big country using their own people. That's why they introduced a form of education in India for uh, for for getting staffs from Indian people, and to as well as to assist them. But now the scenario is different, and we have to consider the education in our own perspective. Otherwise, we can move forward. Uh, Interestingly, I remember Ramanujan, a famous mathematician, world famous mathematician Ramanujan. He failed in his eighth standard in all other subjects except maths. He was uh, he was working as a he was working in a professional store to help his that or the owner of that professional store to calculate the things and the details of the details of their sale, etc. Finally, he went abroad with the help of some mathematicians. During his lifetime, he sent some problems to world famous mathematicians, and they got knowledge about his talent, and they caught them from that provisional store, and thereafter he became the world famous mathematician. But in fact, as far as a student, he was a failure in his school. He failed in his other subjects, chemistry, physics, etc. All other subjects he failed except maths. So we have to rethink our educational system. I think that is the point. Yesterday I heard an interview of one Maitreya, a, a politician, a philosopher, as well as an educationalist in Kerala. According to him, now the educational system is to teach disciplines to our students. Our education system is not student centered. We have to make our education in a student centric. Now we are teaching them how to control themselves, how to get a generation with a discipline. We have to give more importance to the education. As far as students are concerned, student-centric education is required. Then only we will get
When you say
higher.
student-centric, I assume you mean where the student himself thinks out the rationale and begins to innovate, and he himself comes up with a rationale for solving the problems of his time. Am I correct? Is that
Yes,
what you mean
yes,
when you
yes,
say centric?
yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. So yes, Shad, please do go ahead.
Yes, because if our education system is student centric, we will get scientists. We will get because one example is that Sachin Tendulkar, I think he passed only eighth standard,
Right.
but he is a brilliant, a talented sportsman. Yeah, in Indian history, in Indian cricket history. So educational,
He
we
also,
have.
if I might add, he also seems to be very educated himself. Although he might be only past his eighth, he seems to have a lot of knowledge, both in linguistic skills as well as many other skills. He seems to have an in-depth understanding of some management skills also. Like when he discussed the issue of his best partnership being with his wife, I think her name is Anjali. So, he was talking about a partnership, a business partnership almost, a partnership that really lasted his life. So I think he has some kind of idea of concepts related to management and things like that also. So he didn't have to go through a formal education system to increase his mental skills, I guess. Right. So that is a very interesting point by Shaji there. Yeah, please go ahead, Shaji. Let's.
Yes. Uh, as for, I think last time Suresh sir said rightly pointed out that a famous a businessman from Kerala, Yusuf Ali, he was a pickup van driver, and now he is one of the best businessmen in the world. So uh, I think I'm concluding my point that our education system should be student centric, and there is no as pointed out by Hemant sir, there were chance for PhD holders in earlier, but now the circumstance is different. And Mark Zuckerberg, he was a teenager when he started his business. So we have to give full freedom to our children to develop their own, and we have to support them. We have to give them proper support. Then only our education system will be in proper form in future. Thank you, Rahul
Right,
sir.
right. That was very interesting on Shaji. I think us focusing on creating a new generation of more innovative mindsets rather than those who are customized and built through a repetitive process that the modern education system uses, a kind of discipline that construes their mind into one way of thinking. I think even earlier on we had a song based on this, a rock song. We don't want no education that deals with creating a society that is conditioned into a certain kind of thinking, children that are conditioned into a certain kind of thinking and are not able to solve problems of their generation as problems arise in their generation. So that is a very interesting viewpoint there. I'd also like to see what Suresh sir's thoughts are on this particular issue. How do you find, the innovation? Also, innovation in the modern system, higher education system, how it stifles innovation, how it holds back people from innovating, and also how demand and supply in the past and today are affecting the modern education, higher education system. When I say demand and
Yes.
supply, I'm talking about this, demand and supply of these educated pass outs from college, from higher education colleges.
Yes. Good evening, all. Before coming to the higher education sector, let me point out a few reminders. When I was an SSLC student in 1978, that is 47 years ago, the state rank holder, first rank holder, got only 540 marks out of 600. That means he got only 100% marks only in mathematics. He didn't even get full mark in physics because the board of examiners never give full marks except in mathematics. Now, what is the situation now? You get 100% mark even in Malayalam, social science, Hindi. In our time, the state rank, first rank holder only got 100% mark in mathematics. Because his total marks is only 540 out of 600. That means, except in mathematics, he got around 90% marks. In physics, he may have got 95. In chemistry, 96. Is it the situation now? So, the government give full marks even for humanities subjects. And what is the result? A student cannot write or speak an English sentence without error. So, giving full marks, credit, and moderation, these have to be curtailed, or that has to be limited. Otherwise, all the students, if there are 100 students in a class, all the 100 students get A plus, all the 100 students get 100 marks even in Malayalam. So that system of education should be remoduled. So, because when you go to higher studies like studying for engineering or MTech, then you will find it very difficult if you get moderation in mathematics. So only the bright students, let the bright students study in IITs and IIMs. Then only our students will excel in other countries. So coming back to the subject, as a large country, we definitely have more colleges, more universities. So the number of PhDs, MTechs have increased. That is quite natural. But we have to remind that many of our bright students excel in European countries, America, Canada, Australia. So there are prospects for bright students also. Coming back to PhD, as all our panelists said, for acquiring a job as an assistant professor in a college, you need PhD. Those who are already in service, like teachers, if they want promotions, they want PhD. So since there are so many universities, it is easy to get admission for a PhD course or MPhil. So the value of the PhDs has definitely decreased. But there are several institutions like IITs, IIMs, or universities, central universities. The value of PhDs is very good. So we cannot.
The point here is that, see, many of those who invest time and money, there is a lot of time invested in becoming a PhD. So if you don't get to a PhD in a highly reputed institution, like let's say Harvard or anything equivalent across the world, what happens is that you have people who have invested time and money, a lot of time and money. Is this really a value addition, or is it a sucking from the spirit of society? Taking
sir,
away. Yeah. Yes, sir.
What I want to say in this matter is that those who are already employed in any institution, if they want to study PhD as a part-time, so they will get promotion. So there is no risk of losing time or money. But for a fresh PhD graduate, as you said, rightly said, there are lot of wasting of money and time if you are a teen, if you are a youth. But I have many relatives who are already employed in central government institutions. They study PhD as a part-time and they acquire the PhD degree and get promotions. My sister-in-law is working as a librarian in IIM Calicut. While working as a librarian, she entered for PhD course in, I think, in Tirunelveli or Tiruchirappalli in Tamil Nadu. I don't know the university. And she got the PhD in library science. So that she got promotions as senior librarian. So in such cases, I don't think there is any loss of money or time. But for a fresh graduate, it is right, as you rightly said, there is a lot of wasting money and time. It is
right. So this actually what you're trying to say is if your plan is good, you might not waste your time and money. But if you have a poor quality plan, it's very possible that you could waste a lot of time and money, as per what I've understood from what you're trying to say, isn't it? So there are still opportunities for people to get returns from their investments in PhDs or higher education, even though we have so many of them, so many PhDs and MBAs around that if you do not have that the kind of plan that you were discussing, then we'd see a loss. And if you do have a good plan, you will see a win situation when it comes to your investment. Am I correct? Yes?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So as I'd like to just throw in a question to the open panel here, since we've had so many ideas regarding higher education here. Now, higher education is something that is structured. Okay. Everybody does the same thing. You go through a same procedure almost. There are different plans, like Suresh had mentioned. There are different plans in which you can go, but slightly altering plans, like timing. Perhaps you can go through like for instance, you can go through your degree and then go for a job and then go for your master's, then go back for a job and then apply for your PhD, or you can take them all in one sequence, or you can go through the best colleges. So you have these kind of variations available to you. But can you guys reimagine a world in which, we live in a world of technology where information and knowledge these days, you can just to your fingertips. You just type something into AI, you have it. You go onto Google, you have it. You have courses in schools and things all on Google, and access to so much, which to a generation like the generation that we have in the present day, has so much more such access than we did. So people from maybe the generation X or generation Y perhaps did not get that level of access to opportunities. So how can we apply the same format that we've been discussing now to their lives? Do you think that we can reimagine it so that their lives can, be maximized, or they can make maximum utility of the modern world? Is there another way that we can think of education or higher education?
Yes, Mr. Rahul, it's actually possible, because I think the very definition of education has to change. People generally take education as earning degrees, which I think is not the case. Even the thinking of the parents also has to change. If you take, for instance, one of our, they were actually our neighbors, the flat where I'm staying. So actually, their son, he was very good in, he's very good in keyboard play. So he was quite an average student in school, in the school. And then after that, of course, he got admission in BCom. He scored very well. And he also got admission in MCom. But today, he's now, but his passion was for music. And he wanted to become a good keyboard player. So I think he did some certificate course from the Trinity College of Music, as you all know, as you are aware, from London. He did a Trinity College course in music, which was again through online. So he was actually a member of a particular group in playing as a keyboard. And then he joined this famous band, Masala Coffee, which I think many of you, the panelists and yourself, Mr. Rahul, must have heard of. And now he is one of the top keyboard players for one of the famous musician. So he is now touring all over the world. I think he is earning more than an IIM MBA. So what I'm saying is, leaving apart the earnings, yes, Mr. Rahul, you can do a lot of things with the technology. Now you have courses in Udemy and Coursera. So probably after your plus two, at least because minimum after you complete, you need a plus two, isn't it? You need to complete your 12th. After your 12th, probably you can join some company, some place where you can pursue a job, learn something which you feel passionate about. And then probably after that, you can, along with that work, you can pursue your education using this technology where you don't have to actually attend classes by going to a classroom. You can do online courses. There is innovation there. Would we have found Kamal Hassan or Rajnikant or maybe Steve Jobs or even Elon Musk? I don't think Elon Musk is that highly educated. In fact, there is a change.
I think he has a
I would
physics
like to
degree,
say,
actually. He's a man who has a physics degree. I think Steve Jobs and the previous Microsoft chairman, Bill Gates, do not have a degree. I think they
yes,
did
yeah.
not go through I think even your immediate higher education, like your bachelor's, they didn't get their bachelor's degrees either. So yes, they invested
So
their
I
time
actually,
and
so actually I wanted to make one more point before I end. So that it takes Sridhar Vembu. I think you must have heard about Sridhar Vembu. He's now he's the person who started this company called Zoho Corporation, and he's a very innovative person. He's highly qualified, and he has even he's an IIT. He did he did his MTech from a very prestigious institute in America. Has done his PhD, but he has started his company in Tengashi, which is a very small town in Tamil Nadu, and he has got two units, one in Tengashi and one in a very small town in Andhra Pradesh. And you know what he's doing? He's not going after IITs or the top-notch institutes to hiring people. He just hires normal degree holders, trains them, and what he says is, let them do their job, and after that they can even pursue something of their interest. If they are interested in music or if they are interested in gardening, they can do that. So there is, as you said, there is a way forward. It is being made in a very small way. Elon Musk, for instance, I think has recently announced.
He mentions that they have to go through the degree, right, before they pursue the other interest, isn't it? There is a level of, isn't that what you're saying? That
no. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is, for instance, the Zoho Corporation is not insisting on engineering degree because it is an engineering-based company. They are into this, software. What should I say? This reporting tools, sales and marketing reporting tools. They create a lot of programs for that. Yeah. So they are not looking for computer engineers. They are just looking for normal degree holders. And I think some of them are, some of the employees are just even not even done degree. They are just to their first year or second year. So he just hires them. He looks for people with passion, attitude, and resilience. So when you ask me that question of a way forward with a different way of thinking towards education, yes, the definition of education can definitely change. It's not necessary that you have to follow the structured pattern of earning degrees, doing a post-graduation, then going for a job or doing a PhD. Not necessary. As my dear friend Suresh sir and Shaji pointed out, those who are really interested and passionate about it, they can do that and they will get success. But other people, they might be interested in something. So it is about knowing yourself. I think, Mr. Rahul, it is about knowing yourself, which is very important, which is unfortunately lacking in India. People don't know. Children don't know what they are really good at. They just jump into something based on somebody else's person's
Shaji, what is your opinion with regards to this? Like to what Hemant said? Do you think
Hemant
there is any other way we can
yes, what Hemant said is true and correct. Yesterday, I watched that Gukesh play with Carlson, and in that play he won the match, and at that time Carlson was very angry because Carlson was the world champion earlier. Now he was defeated by Gukesh. In an earlier occasion, our Pragnananda also defeated him in 2 or 3 matches, because our children they got that opportunity from their childhood onwards. That is why Gukesh and Pragnananda's sister Vaishali, Oneru Hambu, etc. got these opportunities to defeat these world champions. So we have to give guidance to our students or children in such a way, not to pursue their career in usual manner. Do everything that they interested. Then they will get new opportunities. And now this is a new era, and we have to, because there is no limit for anything in the world. Especially we can take classes and attend classes in UK as well as in US, from Kerala, from a remote village in Kerala. So there is no need for barriers. Breaking the barrier is the necessary thing.
Yes, 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 yes. I agree with that completely. I think we can also conceive an education system where people can be passing out when they're 16 or 17 and getting a job much earlier. We can look at using online mechanisms, AI mechanisms for them to learn, and then really applying it practically. It's possible that the world is going to be changed. The working world is going to be changing with AI machines coming in. So you can be talking about people owning machines and being able to program their machines to do certain work for them and earning through those as a possibility. There are so many possibilities that are now going to come. We are living in a changing world. I largely don't feel that education is going to be valuable in the same format that it is anymore. And those who create more genuine work value for a modern world are going to rethink and reshape higher education. I believe even all education in its totality might be reshaped. I feel that higher education may take the maximum impact due to the fact that it at present sucks a lot of time and a lot of money from a lot of people. So it's largely without giving that commensurate returns for that time and money invested. So I think there is going to be some kind of a reimagination around learning, understanding, and being able to create genuine value for oneself in the world. And in fact, also being able to create that brand for oneself in order to be accepted in the employment world and things like that. So I see that there will be a sea of change that is possible. We have a very short time. I feel Suresh wants to say something. Is there anything that you want to say?
I fully agree with what you all three said, but I want to add that the normal concern of an Indian parent is that they want their children to be secured. As Hemant sir said, there are students who excel in music, music composing, but we have to remind that there are only one Yeshudas, one Sachin Tendulkar, one D. Gugesh, and one Elon Musk in the world. All musicians cannot become Yeshudas, or all players cannot become Sachin Tendulkar. So normally a parent will think that if their children get a government job or a job like our Shaji sir, then they are all satisfied. So we have to keep in mind that also. And I want to add one more point what Hemant sir said. Surely, not only engineers, even mere graduates can excel if they are given proper training in an institution. In this regard, I remember that once the ISRO chairman, not the present chairman, I think Shivan or the other former chairman said that there are not only BTech degree holders in ISRO, there are MSc physics holders, polytechnic holders, even IT holders, IT diploma holders who worked successfully in the launch of Chandrayaan. So even an IT degree holder can get job in ISRO, but many parents and friends are unaware of that.
Very good, sir. Very good. So we will conclude today. I think we're out of time as well. It was a fantastic podcast, guys. A lot of thought-provoking ideas that have come out today. And I'll close it by saying that I think we should reimagine the education system. And there are multiple ways that people from different kinds and styles of education should be impacting the world as we go forward. So it was lovely having you guys on the panel. Take care. We request our audience to follow us because we will be coming out with more videos. And until the next time, have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you.